Marvel Rivals, one of the biggest games out right now, drawing in thousands of players each day, including me. And if you're one of those players, you probably know that this latest season introduced two new DPS characters, which were Blade and Phoenix. Every season, it's either 2 DPS or a tank and a healer. And this means that the next season is going to be tank and healer. And I have a pretty good idea for what could come next. So, out of all the leaked characters, one of them really caught my eye. MODOK. A very interesting character. He is a bit unknown as a character, but I think games like Marvel vs. Capcom, and also maybe Ant-Man Quantumania, even though they ruined him, he is a bit more known as a villain. And he would be such a cool villain to play as in the game, just being a big head. And you could draw inspiration from a lot of the moves in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is his shield, his cubes, his laser, having that kind of moveset. But I think for Marvel Rivals, it would be better if he had, not better, but I think it would be more logical if he had some kind of big round orb shield, something like from Overwatch. Kind of just a circular shield, and he should also have, obviously, his main attack be his head laser. He could also have an attack where he uses mechanical parts. He could have like shoot out a bomb or shoot out a hook, like a claw to grab people, and he could also have like a headbutt kind of flight ability. Obviously he won't have flight because that's a bit unfair, but some kind of headbutt ability. And I think that he would be a really fun tank to play, even though I don't know what his ultimate would be, but I do know that he would be a really fun tank to play as. Now, for the healer, you can go one of two ways. Either you introduce Ant-Man later on, or it's a 3-character season. I don't know what to say, because obviously, Ant-Man would be good as a healer character, healing with his PIM particles, and also, his ultimate can be him going big, and an escape move could be him going small. Things like that. He would be a really cool healer, but at the same time, Wasp would be a better healer character, and Ant-Man is DPS. But that would mean it would be a season with 3 characters, tank, DPS, and healer. So I think we just stick to Ant-Man as the healer, MODOK as the tank, and these two are the characters for the next season, as well as the map being some kind of AIM laboratory, or is something like that. Just something that isn't a Venom map. Like we have about 4 Clintar maps now in the game, which are the Venom maps, and we don't need more of them. We need something new. I also think that we do need more healers and more tanks, even though I like a lot of the tanks in the game, like The Thing, who is my main, and Doctor Strange. I think that having more of these characters, more diverse options, is better than just having infinite DPS. So I think having Ant-Man as a healer, or even Wasp later on, or at the same time, that would be pretty good. Maybe both of them can be a healer, but I doubt it. And then for the other leaked characters in the future, obviously some characters like Cyclops and Ghost Rider and Deadpool have been heavily wanted and also leaked. They would be perfect additions, all as DPS I guess, unless they want to do something with Deadpool, that's different. But they're all going to be DPS otherwise, and they are all characters that everyone is patiently waiting for, because they're just icons of Marvel and they need to be in the game. For some other leaked characters, there's also Angela, who I don't really know much about, but I guess she would be a tank, kind of like a female Thor. I think she has an axe, so to have like more semi-tanks in the game would be pretty cool, but not too many. We also want some main tanks. And then Beast, who I could also see being a tank. I think he could be a healer though. That might be a bit strange, but I could see Beast as being like a scientist, and he uses his potions to heal, or something like that. Just he could go any way. He could be DPS healer or tank. I don't think you could say that for like many other characters. But he could really be all three. Or, not all three. Any of them. Then you have Captain Marvel, who is also another League character. She would obviously be DPS, maybe tank though. She is very powerful, and to have her as DPS would kind of be not properly representing her. So I think she would be better as a tank. But then again, if Angela is a semi-tank, we don't want so many tanks that are just like half tanks. That have like lower health, but at the same time they still have high health, so they're a tank. But Captain Marvel would be a cool character in the game, no matter what role she is. She definitely couldn't be a healer, but DPS or tank. And then Colossus, which is definitely a tank. One that I've actually been waiting for to happen. Because that would be super exciting to play Colossus. I can't, just being Colossus, having maybe like a grab move and a ram move and maybe like a super shield where he like turns strong metal. I don't know. Just having Colossus as a character would be really cool in the game. Another X-Men character, Gambit, obviously, also leaked as a DPS. He would be kind of like another backline character. I don't know how some of these characters would work to have like diversity in the DPS, but I could definitely see him as kind of like Squirrel Girl but with aim. Like he throws the cards and then he can make them blow up instead of just shooting them and they randomly blow up or blow up on contact. You know, that would be pretty cool to have Gambit. A lot of the characters that are wanted in the game are X-Men. So to kind of represent them all, you know, it's pretty hard, but obviously just put some of the basic ones in and people will be happy. Another random, or two random, actually three, three random characters that have been leaked. Hitmonkey, Jia Jing, and Locust. I'll be honest, I know nothing about Jia Jing, I know nothing about Locust, but I do know Hitmonkey, and he is just a monkey with guns. There's no other way to put it. I think he would be a pretty funny character. And obviously, this wouldn't be weird to add characters, like take up a whole season adding characters that we don't know. Because they added Jeff the Shark, they added Luna Snow, they introduced people to these characters which weren't popular before, but now are some of Marvel's heaviest IP in the gaming area. So, you know, Marvel Rivals has really introduced characters that no one knows about and done them justice. Like, people know about them now, and they really do like the characters. I think that Hitmonkey would be like Rocket Raccoon, but DPS basically. And I don't know about the other two. I think Jia Jing is like flying, and Locust is, I don't know. I don't even know who it is, to be honest. Now, Paste Pot Pete, another random character. I also don't know nothing about him. I should have talked about him just before, but just another random character. I don't know who this is. I guess he would be a DPS. I know nothing about him, but he is a leaked character, apparently. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with some of these characters to see how they play out. And maybe we'll understand them and like them after they come to the game. And then we have Nightcrawler, who is going to be one of the coolest DPS when or if he comes to the game. Because, you know, teleporting, swords. I think he'll be a bit like Blade, but more backline-ish, like faster. I think that will kind of be his character. And he'll be a really cool character. I think the coolest thing to see will be his design in the game. Because that, I can't picture him in the game. But like, it's going to look good. But it's going to look so good that I can't even picture it. Like, I just can't imagine him being in the game. And then Professor X, which is going to be another healer, I guess. I think people use his design, the House of X design, the one where he's wearing the helmet, so he can actually stand up. I think him in a chair would be too big, so having this design is a good idea. But him being a healer is definitely him using his brain to heal. Yeah, I don't know. But he's got to be a healer, because we need more healers, and he just makes sense. I just look at the photo on the screen. Like, he just looks like a healing character. He looks like his helmet's going to heal. Then we have Rogue, who is another DPS. There is a lot of X-Men DPS that have been leaked. So I don't know which ones are going to come to the game and which ones aren't. But Rogue would be a cool character to kind of just be a fighter, I guess. I don't know. You can't really implement her ability of just being able to like steal people's life with the touch. But you could make her something more of like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where she's like agile and she has like she can steal people's abilities. I guess that would be cool if she could steal people's abilities, but that's already implemented with Loki. A problem with a lot of these characters is that some characters who don't really, they kind of just stole their powers with their ultimates or something else, and now it's going to be harder to implement them, because who's going to want to play Rogue when you could just play Loki, who's also a healer? But, we'll see. The next lead character is the Hood, who's definitely unexpected. He's only really been in the Ironheart show, which flopped massively, and he's just really isn't a popular character. He's been all over Marvel media, board games, video games, shows, app games. He's been in everything, but he isn't really that mainstream. And he's basically just a shooter. I think he does have more powers, but you'll have to look into that yourself, because I'm not actually sure. He has the powers of something. I think he can control people somehow, maybe go invisible. I don't actually know. But he is a pretty cool character. I don't know how they'll implement him, but I'm sure if they do add him, they'll do it well. Next character is Valkyrie, who could also be a tank. She could be a DPS. She is a lot like Angela, because she is just like this strong Asgardian woman with an axe or a sword, whatever they do. I could see her ultimate be riding Pegasus or a unicorn or something, but that's just the ultimate. I don't know what they'll do for her actual moves. Next is Trapster, who is a bit of a random one. I think it would be cool to see someone who has like maybe bear traps, glue traps, landmines, something like that. Someone who can just place down, maybe even like a turret, just placing down all these little traps to kind of set it up for the enemies. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if they should implement it in someone like Trapster, but I guess it works. And Forge being the next character, another X-Men DPS. I could see him being a tank, but also not really. I think he has to be a DPS, and I just don't think that they should be. I mean, it is pretty cool to introduce someone like Forge, but taking up all their DPS slots with just more X-Men, even if they're not as important as some other ones, like Jubilee. She's not even a lead character, so what's going on there? But, if he does get implemented, I think he'll be cool. Yeah. Next is White Fox, just another character who's like Luna Snow. She's basically unknown. Snow DPS, I guess. I don't really know. But she is a lead character, so I have to mention her. I really don't know anything about her or what she could do that's different from just like Luna Snow. But yeah. Armor, who is a very cool X-Men character. I think she could definitely be included as a tank. I think she would actually make a great tank, as she's a very underrated character. She can make herself a big pile of pink armor around herself. I don't actually know exactly how her powers work, but that would be pretty cool to see as a tank. Yeah, I don't know how she would work in the game, but I could definitely see it. Something like Penny Parker. Then you have Amaranth. Hopefully, what this means is that they will take another shot at Scarlet Witch, and instead of just having a tracking beam, they actually implement some magic moves, make her cooler, because she is just Scarlet Witch. She is just the new Scarlet Witch, and she could definitely just be a skin, but whatever. Maybe this will go well. I don't even know if she'll ever be released. Yeah. Hive as well, very cool character, definitely a tank. There isn't enough healers, I don't think, but I think there's enough tanks to go around. And him as a tank, that would be pretty cool to see, like a something like Man-Thing. They should just add Man-Thing, honestly. They shouldn't add Hive. They should imagine Man-Thing, how cool he'll look in the game. Having, tentacle attack. I mean, they already have Venom, but I think Man-Thing would be a better option than Hive. Maybe Hive will be instead. Maybe he'll have a skin or something. I don't know. And Shuri also. I haven't really seen anything about her. I've seen like one mention. But she would also be a cool character. Probably a healer. I could definitely see her being a DPS. But I think she would be better as a healer. And my last idea is to implement crossover skins. As in characters portray other characters in their skins. Obviously these will have to be legendary skins. Probably. But Thor being either Jane Foster or Beta Ray Bill, or Captain America being US Agent, or you know, kind of like making a character a different character, but it's the same moves, everything. It's a skin. It could be a new rarity, but it's like a crossover. I just want to see Beta Ray Bill in the game. He would be such a cool addition as a skin though. I don't think he could be a character, but introducing character skins that change the skin, that change the character to a different character in the skin. Maybe like Black Panther is then Shuri. Obviously this might change up the hitboxes and ruin it, but I could definitely see a few of them working, like US Agent, which they should definitely already have in the game. And that's about it. I hope to see MODOK and Ant-Man in the near future. I don't even think Ant-Man is leaked, so I don't know what's going on there, but at least MODOK. Also Colossus, Cyclops, especially Deadpool, as a lot of people want Deadpool, Ghost Rider. I mean, to see what they do with characters like Jia Jing, Locust, Pace Pop Pete, Hitmonkey, the Hood, just to see these characters play out in the game would also be very cool. So, we just have to wait and see what they do in the future. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Yeah. Bye.